is out of the mold. It's cured up. It's ready to go. And I think because of the colors, it'll make a really cool ice cream scoop. I'm going to use our stainless steel ice cream head project kit. And I'm going to do two things, and then I'm going to come back to the resin table. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a 1-inch hole to fit this thread. I think it's about a 5/16. The reason being, I'm going to use the knurled insert that's 0.66 long. And if I only drill the hole for the 1/2-inch knurl, I won't have clearance for this, and I want this to kind of stick through the knurled insert into there. So I'm going to drill a 1-inch hole 5/16, and then I'm going to drill a 1/2-inch hole 0.66 that fits the knurled insert perfectly. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to use the universal mandrel system, which I'll show you more in a minute, but I'm going to go drill those holes and come back to the resin table because I want to kind of hide my hole and cover up the threads as much as possible, and I'll show you. The blank is ready. I've got it drilled. You can see that haze in the clear. That's where I drilled into the blank. I've got my knurled insert on the handle, or on the head here, and I just want to test fit this. This should slide in. It's relatively snug, but with a little tapping we can kind of see, and looks like once I glue that in, it's going to be just right. So in order to make this kind of match the colors of the blank, I'm going to use 2-part mercury epoxy. I'm using 5 minute, and we have this at the Turner's Warehouse store. And I'm going to use the same dyes that I used to make the blank, and by doing that I should be able to get a pretty cool look. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mix up some epoxy, and I'm going to mix up way more than I need because I'm going to kind of spread it out and do little color patches. And I'm sure there's another way to do this, but this is kind of what I thought would work, so this is what I'm going to do. And a little pile right there, and then that's our third pile, so that will work. Alright, one more little stick here. So I'm just going to use barely, oh, that's probably more than enough. Just barely a tiny bit is all you need. So I'm just, oh, way too much. Just going to touch it and put it in there. And what did I say, yellow, I think? Come on, yellow. Oh, too much, but it'll be fine. I'm kind of just stirring this half here. So I'm stirring in there. Get more clear in there. Stirring in the blue. And stirring in the white. Now, if you add too much, like I may have done, you can affect the curing of the glue. So you got to be real careful not to do that. So that's why I did it, to show you guys not to add too much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, and I'm looking down the hole here, and I'm just going to get some yellow on. I'm going to go all the way in to the bottom, kind of smear it around. I'm just going to do half the hole. There's no science to this, but it works pretty good. Kind of cover that side in blue. Get some white. And I don't want to like stir it, I just want to kind of coat it. So I just want the whole hole to be colored, which I don't know if you can tell, but it now has color all around it. So the last thing I'm going to do is take my knurled insert, put it on the mandrel because it's easier to put in. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to put some white on it and some blue. And I don't want a ton of extra, so I need to get that off of there. And some yellow. And we want this to be covered because we need to fill up any gap in the hole and the knurled insert. We need to fill it up so we don't have hole, like a gap hole in the product. So I want it covered, but I don't want it oozing off, so I'm gonna just touch it to get that. So then I'm gonna insert this, and I do have quite a bit of extra coming off. So you can see I used the mandrel to insert it. There's quite a bit extra, so I'm gonna grab a paper towel and I'm just gonna wipe that off the end because it's no good at the end anyways, it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to make sure that that's set in there. And I want it flush. So now you can see flat to the end of the blank. And one thing I didn't mention before is make sure your blank is really squared up. Now see, you can already see that there's just a ton of white right there, which I thought I had more color, but we'll see how it looks when it's round. So now I have to let this cure for 15, 20 minutes and I can then turn it. All right, our insert has dried. We are ready to go. I mentioned I'm going to use the universal mandrel system. This is it. This is our deluxe set that we sell. It's the mandrel with the 3 bushings and some knurled inserts and the washers you need. So it's very simple. I'm going to put a washer on my lathe, chuck up the mandrel. They fit either the 1" 8 or the 1 1/4 8 if you have a larger lathe. And then very simply, this thing just threads right on. Now, the reason I like this so much is it's so much more secure than if I was tapping into plastic or wood and trying to use those to hold the threads. When I used to do these Choya, the knurled insert, I didn't have the knurled insert. I would just tap into the resin and it would be some wood, and over time they'd start to wear and wobble and you never get a good turn because it would move on you, especially if you wanted to cut the end off. So with this system, I can turn the whole thing with my live center up here, and then I can take away the live center, turn the end, finish the end, and I get a really good product. Overall, it just makes it easier, it makes it more comfortable, safer, and in my opinion, your end result is much better. So this is ready to go. I'm ready to turn. One very important thing I just forgot to mention is that we need a bushing for this project. So this is an ice cream scoop, which uses, get this off of here. I do it by hand when you can use the machine. It uses the middle bushing, the 3/4 bushing. Got it. It uses the middle bushing, it's the 3/4. You just simply slide it on over, put the middle bushing Durlin washer. It's just keeps it from locking up, or if you do a CA finish on something, keeps it from sticking, so it just makes it a lot easier. So now I'm ready to go. So now let's zoom in and turn this up. Like we are there. So that's wobbling because I think it's, if you look at this part, it's not moving, but this blank is so long that when I stuck the tailstock in, it was in one spot, and now it's actually bending. Now, maybe it's the play on the threads. It must be that. It's just transferring. But I'm going to sand it now, so it's all good. Not that that'll do anything, but better than nothing, I guess. Thing is looking good. All right, now for the fun part. together. And we have got a pretty cool looking ice cream scoop. Now I realize it's very long, but you know, trying to show off colors, I can live with it. So I hope you like this project. It came out pretty cool. You just never know when you're pouring resin what you're gonna get, and you gotta just keep practicing and experimenting. I think if I was gonna do this one again, I would have done more color. Just added a few more zigzags of color to get it down in there, but you never know. It looks cool. I'm totally happy with it. I think the only thing I have left to do is stop at the grocery store on the way home and maybe get something to try this out with, if you know what I mean. So anyway, thanks for watching. Links below to all the stuff I used, all the tools, all the project kits, blanks, everything. We really appreciate your support. It not only helps me with the channel, but it also helps support Turner's Warehouse. We have tons of pen making, turning, gear, and resin casting, so we can help you out with any of that stuff. Don't hesitate to call, email, comment here, whatever you need to do. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching.